All right, time now is 9:57 a.m. in the morning. I don't know why my air vent is still on. It's supposed to be off, but maybe it's just too moist. 9:57 a.m. in the morning on February 13th. It's been exactly 15 days since I've returned to LA for round 3. And I slept from 2 a.m. to 8:20-ish. I didn't immediately fall asleep thanks to the coffee, and I also went back to bed um, after the alarm rang at 9:30, and I actually woke up at 9:40 something. And I had a pretty weird dream about visiting Australia, South Australia during the summer, and it's snowing because seasons are flipped. But I didn't know it's summer. Like, just it has nothing to do with seasons. There's a cold spell, and it's snowing, and we're all trapped. Me and my family, and my family's rich friends. And I was so ready to be trapped here for a decade. So I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna, this is like survival mode. I'm gonna farm. I'm gonna farm carrots and potatoes, and you know, we're gonna live in one house together. And my mom plans to build a house using wood. It's really weird, and it's in a small town called Tucson, South Australia, as opposed to Tucson, Arizona. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, yeah. So oh my God, oh my absolute God. Hold on. Oh my absolute freaking God! Today's the day. The new semester begins. Holy crap! It's actually happening. This semester will be another very insane one. Hopefully, even more interesting and insane and wacky and full of twists and turns than last semester. Hopefully, even crazier. So, about half an hour later, I'm going to leave the apartment and take a bus to the college campus to take photography one. And I'll be seeing Pepper, I'll be seeing Potter for the first time since mid-December, so it's been nearly 2 months since I've seen them both. It's been a whole month since I've spoken to Pepper. Also, pretty much been a whole month since I've spoken to Potter. So this is gonna be interesting. I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe it will be awkward, maybe it won't. Hopefully I run into Eric and Alba as well, who is in the same class by the same professor, but about but it's earlier. It's an earlier class that ends about half an hour early. But if lucky, maybe I'll run into them. Maybe not. Um and yeah, I should text Alba like, oh, by the way, I found out Eric's in your class. Um yeah, that's pretty much it. Now after that class, I won't hang out or anything theoretically unless Pepper has any strange plans to hang out with me, which will definitely not happen anymore. Last semester, Pepper's eager to hang out with me after class, walk to the bus stop together, maybe grab a drink together, whatever stupid thing. You know what? If she hates me now, fine. Just go home. Because I have to go home. At 3 p.m., I have to be on Zoom for a Zoom meeting because John L. is holding audition casting for his short film again, and this time it's for real. So for real, second round of casting, and so today I have 4 casting auditions to attend, and yeah, that's about it. Um, so that's 3 p.m. And that's all there is for today. I won't be filming any YouTube videos. Um, I I'm gonna work on my uni app stuff, rewrite the Virgin. I'm gonna hopefully have the time to watch The Menu tonight. Jesus. And yeah, I'm low key confident for some odd reason, even though I shouldn't be, because today is literally 2 days away from submitting the USC Common App and Chapman Supplemental and USC Supplemental. But I'm low key confident that I'm able to finish it all. actually. I low-key am confident. So, yeah, we'll see. And also last night I tried to edit my cloud busting short film down to 5 minutes. It's basically impossible. I tried to cut down everything and it's still 8 minutes long. And that's ridiculous. And Thomas told me that the short film I made is the most important part, and that's all that matters. Like for film production, the video sample is the most important. So I don't know if I don't know. I also received the LUTs from Cliff, and unfortunately it's just one LUT, and it doesn't fit all, and it's also a LUT that really has high contrast and make everything look overexposed, and it's not very great. I don't blame him because he's grading Rec 709 footage and it doesn't really seem great, but yeah, doesn't really fit all. I'm still gonna try to incorporate the LUT a little bit into the short film, so that maybe yeah, so that maybe I can still credit him as colorist, but yeah, that's that. But yeah, editing cloud busting down 5 minutes is a real pain in the ass. It's even worse than editing down an essay, because in an essay it's just words and sentences. You can simplify it and whatever. But this is a fucking short film, man. There's narrative plot that I have to cut down. So I don't know, I have to rethink the entire cloud busting just to squeeze it into 5 minutes. I even cut down the end credits. I cut down a lot of walking parts, obviously. I don't know, we'll see. I'm like 6 minutes late. Where the fuck is room 119? What the fuck? Why is the bus so slow? What the hell? Okay, I don't know how am I gonna do with one hand, but I'm gonna try. Alright, and then let's do this. With the kimchi. Ooh. Oh, it's still spicy. Oh my god. But it's good. Alright, time now is 4:50 p.m. Whew, let's talk about what happened today. First day of semester of the new semester, semester 3. Not real semester 3, more like my third big semester here in LA physically, but really it's actually my 6th semester. Yeah, so I woke up. I wanted to really arrive to class very early, because it's the first class and arriving early is cool on the first day. And I woke up at 9:30, and if everything goes right, 9:30, I eat breakfast, I rest up a little bit, I leave at exactly 10:15. I reserved a whole hour for myself to go to class. So the class starts at 11:15. So if I leave at 10:15, maybe I'll arrive at around 11. That's kind of early. That's cool. And then, the rest is history. And for some reason, I didn't leave at 10:15 on the dot. I left at 10:20, which should still mean that I should arrive early. But of course, Los Angeles traffic. It's always worse than you think. So I took the first bus, and I had to wait maybe 5 minutes for the first bus, and then I had to transit to a second bus, and I waited half an hour for the second bus. It's terrible, it's awful, it's silly, it's goofy, and then on that bus it kept delaying. It's so slow because there's a little traffic jam, and the bus just it just went really really slowly. So what originally seems to be, me arriving at 11 11 turns out to be 11:15, and then turns out to be 11:16. But yeah, I arrived, I got to class, I was in my big fancy detective coat. I was looking nice without a mask, with glasses on. I looked sharp, I fixed my hair a little bit, which still seemed very messy. I even thought to myself, does this coat seem kind of hideous? It's real large for me, and it's just a little extra. But whatever, I'll wear it anyways because I'm insane. Um, so while taking the bus to college, I actually thought to myself, okay, I predict either Pepper will say hi to me and act all normal, or maybe Pepper won't say hi to me and act all awkward like a stranger in front of me. But I totally forgot that there's a third possibility, and that is she doesn't fucking show up. She, because she hates me so much, she chickened out and she switched the class from afternoon um, to morning a little earlier. Maybe that's what happened. So we'll see, right? So I entered the building and I saw people lining up outside a classroom. Turns out that's the wrong classroom. I went to the back and I found the classroom and I entered it, and wow, there are like 20 something, maybe 30 something people, and there's professor talking around, walking around, and he saw me, and he looks like Mark Rylance with a hat, with glasses, and he's really funny and kind of old, but kind of funny, kind of a zany guy with a sense of humor. And immediately the class looked at me and was like, "Oh." And the professor came up to me and said, "Oh, you know, earlier today I said whoever comes the latest will treat everyone to drinks." And the professor said, "Do you have your credit card with you?" And I wasn't awkward because I don't know, I'm always prepared for something like this. I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Say no, say no." And I'm like, "No, I forgot." And he's like, "All right, pick a seat." So I picked a seat. I went to the row at the back. There were like 4 rows and or 4 columns, and I picked the last one, um, where it's all Asians. I went to the last one because it's all Asians. There were like a row of 8, 9 Asians in the back for some reason, and I'm like, well, I belong there, so I just went to the back. And turns out I'm not the latest. There were like 3, 4, 5 people who came in after me, but I looked around and holy shit, Pepper is not here. Neither is Pepper or Potter here. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Um, so I thought either she's late or she just is not showing up. She just did not show up. And so the class went on and on and on, and guess what? Pepper didn't show up the whole time. And I didn't feel bad at all, you know. I just thought, well, it's such a shame. Shame. So what a shame. But I really didn't care. In fact, I think it might be a good thing that Pepper didn't show up, because now it's giving me even more, I guess, space to socialize with people. So the Asians beside me, okay, so there was a white woman to my right, and then to my left, it was like around 6 Asians, 6 East Asians in a row. And to my left was a Chinese guy, because he kept on. It's very clear that he's not that enthusiastic in photography. Throughout the whole class today, he looked at his phone multiple times, and I saw him using WeChat. So I'm like, well, that's a Chinese guy. And then, funny enough, I thought all the other people to the left are Chinese. No, they were like 5 Koreans for some fucking reason. And throughout the whole class, they were like chit-chatting. They were like chattering in the back. And they were all Korean. 4 Korean girls and 1 Korean guy. I don't know why. And then even in front of me there's a French woman. And then another row in front of me there were even more Asians. There was a Chinese girl with dyed pink hair with a hoodie on at the very far left of the third row. And then a couple seats to her right, also to my left and in front, is another woman. I saw the skinny circular glasses and I thought, okay, she's either Chinese or Korean. But I never thought she's another Korean, given that we already have like 5 Koreans here. So I thought maybe she's also Chinese, or maybe Taiwanese, maybe Hong Konger, who knows? So it is revealed at the very end of the class when the professor did roll call, she's also Korean. So there are 6 fucking Koreans in this class. I've never taken a class with this many Koreans. In fact, I've never taken a class with a Korean before. So this is brand new to me. And they were really tight, aside from the glasses girl. But aside from the glasses Korean, all the Koreans to my left, they're all tight. They're all chatting. Like they probably enrolled in this class together as a team. Like they orchestrated this the same way I and Pepper and Potter orchestrated this photography class, even though that didn't happen at the end because Pepper chickened out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then there were a good mix of white, black, and Latino. And the professor is awesome. Right off the bat, he has a great sense of humor. He walks around, he jokes around, he gets people to stand up and ask questions. He makes fun of people once in a while. People ask him, how long have you been a photographer? And he's like, 3 years. And we all laughed a little bit because no way. He's an old guy. He sounds like he really knows photography. He's only been a photographer for 3 years. He's been a photographer assistant for many, many years, but only a photographer for 3 years. But he still knows his shit. And today he just talked. He went over, the syllabus. He did some introduction about what we're going to do in this class. We have a bunch of assignments, and all the assignments is essentially photo taking. We're going to take photos. They're going to provide us with Canon cameras. And if we break it, they're not going to ask any questions. They'll give it to us for free. But of course, we have to return it at the end. He's just very nice. And that's pretty much it. And yeah, he even said, so we didn't have any icebreaker activity or anything like that. I low-key wish there is one because I get to socialize. I thought to myself, holy shit, I am the stranger in this class. Like, I don't know a single soul in this class. I don't know anyone. I've never seen anyone before. I've not even heard of any of these names. You'd figure, given that I've been in this college for a year, maybe, just maybe, I would know a couple of people by chance. But no, I don't know a single soul in this classroom. But actually, that's fucking fine. That's actually fine. When I went to Film 40 last spring, I didn't know a single person, but I made like 4 or 5 friends at the end. When I went to Film 2 last fall, I didn't know a single soul, but that's fine. I made friends with Patrick. Surely I can do it in this photography class as well. The only downside is that this is photography and not film. If it's film, it's easier to make friends because we're all in this together. We're all, sort of in the same field. But here it's a little different. But I'm sure I can somehow make friends. I am the new 2023 Enoch Lai. I can surely do that. And if Pepper was here, then it would just be a situation where Pepper keeps speaking to me, I keep speaking to Pepper, and we're just going to be the 2 Hong Kongers out of the bunch. But in here, I'm a sole Hong Konger. And yeah. And, I actually have more space to socialize with people. And I currently don't have any Korean friends. It would be fun to actually make some Korean friends. And Min-shik doesn't count. And he's not a close friend, nor he's more Korean American than he's Korean. Like, I want some legit Korean friends. I have Hong Konger friends, though. I have Chinese friends. I have a Malaysian friends. I have, a Taiwanese friend, probably, hopefully. The guy who goes to the Death Group's concert with me, he's Taiwanese. But Korean, I don't see a lot of them. And then somehow today I meet 6. So that's pretty interesting. I would like to make friends with them. And it's going to be a little tough to break into their very tight group. But according to the professor, we're going to have group projects together. We're going to socialize at the end of the day. So honestly, I am looking forward to talk to more people. And then one very interesting moment is when the professor was doing a roll call by the end of the class. He called out a name, and I forgot what's the first name, but the last name is Cheung. Cheung. That's not Cheung. That's Zheng. That's a fucking Cantonese name. Is there another Hong Kong here? And of course, nobody raised their hands. So there could have been a Hong Konger in the same class with me. I don't care if it's a guy or girl. If it's another Hong Konger, I rejoice. I hope he or she shows up next class because I would love to meet another Hong Konger who's also in the same college. That would be astounding. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So we all left the class. I didn't say a single word throughout the whole class, but I was attentive. I laughed. I was like, haha. But I didn't say a word. We shook hands with the professor. Each one of us, when we left the classroom, we all shook hands with the professor. And then we all left. And then I just listened to music, went to the bus stop, went back home. And I listened to Death Grips. I listened to fucking Lightning Bolt. I feel energized. I don't know what's this feeling called. I'm not sad that Pepper isn't in my class. I'm not happy either. But I don't feel neutral. My feeling can be best described as, oh, you're not showing up in my class? Well then, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's go. You're starting this war. You're starting this feud, not me, you know? I'm totally fine. And I could have switched. You know what? Maybe I find out that Pepper's in the morning class. I can jump to the morning class, given that the morning class already has Aoba and Eric. So, but I'm not going to do that. I'm perfectly content here. Fuck you. Bring it on. Bring it on, bitch. Just, yeah, so I actually DM'd Aoba and Eric, both of them, and asked, I asked Aoba if Pepper showed up in her class instead, and Aoba was like, yeah, Pepper and Eric ended up in my class, and I'm surprised to see Pepper there. And Eric also told me that Eric said he saw Pepper in his class. So Pepper did indeed switch to the morning class. Maybe it's to avoid me. I'd like to think that is the reason. I'd like to think she changed just because she wants to avoid me. And then I even DM'd Potter. I asked him, oh, I didn't see you today. I thought we were in the same class together. And he said, no, I took photography 1 last semester. This semester I'm taking photography 2. So I'm like, oh, then I'll see you tomorrow then. And Potter's like, yeah. So regardless, I'll be seeing Potter tomorrow. I don't know, will Pepper show up tomorrow or not, honestly. Maybe Pepper just wants to avoid me so bad that she also drops out of photography too. Like, she just wants nothing to do with me. Maybe she won't even go to the first class of Film 33 just because of me. Maybe she just wants to completely get rid of me from her life. Again, partially it's my fault, I feel like. You know, I film these vlogs, I talk about her a lot. Maybe she saw my vlogs and she's pissed at me and she just doesn't want me to know anything about her life anymore, and that's totally fine. And I would understand. And that would be embarrassing for me. But then again, it's not entirely my fault. It's my habit to film these vlogs, and if I don't film them, I feel uncomfortable. I just have to do it. It's I don't trust anyone other than my own phone, and I report everything to my own phone in my videos because that's all I got, which is sad. But, you know, I'm trying to change. But there's a great chance that Pepper doesn't even know about my vlogs and just hates me for the sake of hating me. That would be even better. And, I mean, that would be weird because she's just hating me without any solid reason. But that's better because she doesn't find out about my vlog, so that's good. But, yeah, you know, regardless, Pepper may show up tomorrow. She may not. I hope Potter shows up tomorrow. Given that I spoke with Potter over Instagram DMs, it seems we're still going to be in the same class. So it's not like Pepper told Potter that I'm doing these vlogs, and then Pepper dropped out of photography 2, and then Pepper's forcing Potter to drop out photography 2. It doesn't seem that way. So I don't know, we'll see. But either way, I'll be meeting Aoba tomorrow afternoon, so that's that. That's cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I took the wrong direction for the second bus. I waited half an hour for the second bus again. Took the wrong direction, and then I went all the way back to home, and by then it was already like 2 something p.m. I quickly made myself a pudor chege Korean instant noodle lunch with spam and cheese, and it tastes pretty great. And then, boom, I cleaned up, washed my face and everything, and then it's 2:58, and then at 3 p.m. we have John L's audition, his casting Zoom meeting with a few actors, with 4 actors today, from 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. So at first it was fine. It felt as though nobody was in the house, and the Wi-Fi worked fine. And then, of course, the Wi-Fi started malfunctioning at some point, and it was glitchy, and I said something wrong. I couldn't hear what the opponent was saying, because I was reading. I was basically, the reader for the opposite character for whoever is doing the audition. And it froze, it glitched, and I didn't know what's going on. I blurted out a line, and it caused confusion, and I was embarrassed because this felt a lot more professional than whatever I and John L did last December. It felt a lot more professional because this time around we have a producer and also a casting director. The producer being a Cantonese guy, but not from Hong Kong, just Cantonese, just from Guangzhou. Chinese guy, and a Chinese American woman. Yeah. At some point the Wi-Fi got so bad I had to move my entire laptop out. I changed my clothes, I moved the laptop out, I moved my microphone out to the table and then to the sofa, to the couch, so that it would sound a little better. Yeah, that's that. But the auditions are over until Wednesday. So there's that. Nothing else. I don't know what's going to happen. I am speaking to Michelle a little bit. Michelle's curious who are the people in my Film 33 class. Because so on Canvas, you can actually see what people are in your class if the professor opens the people page. So for photography 1, I could have checked who ended up in the morning photo 1 class, but I couldn't because the people page is not opened. But for Film 33, it is opened. So I checked it, and so there are a few familiar names here and there. Theo, the egotistic Italian man, is here. Jared, the noisy black guy, is here. I sound so like discriminatory right now, but that's true. Both Liana and Yulia, the Russian girls, are here, and they're good. They're nice people, especially Yulia. Eric is here, so that's fantastic. Sidlali is here. Dominic, the hardworking, quiet white guy, is here. And then Zach, another white guy who's really good at acting, he's here. And then there weren't a lot of people from my Film 32, but there were a lot of people from Thomas's Film 32, including Benny, the first generation Hungarian guy, who is apparently a really good UPM, which is going to be a bit of a problem because I want to be UPM. And then also a bunch of other people that I don't know, but I guess I know about 2/3 of the people in there, and then the other 1/3 I either have heard of them or I just completely don't know them. But either way, it's going to be pretty interesting. So yeah, that's that. And Michelle was like, keep me updated because I want to know the drama. And it's ridiculous if you think that way, because Theo is the president of Film Club, Red is the president of Acting Club. Thomas is the president of Script Writing Club. I am the vice president of Script Writing Club. All four of us will end up in the same class. Thomas is not there, but Thomas will show up on the first day, and he'll probably get in. So it's going to be the clash of the titans, really. It's going to be wild, absolutely wild. But yeah, that's that. Looking forward to tomorrow. Time now is 10:45 p.m. Finished dinner, which is very, very simple. Fried potatoes, marinated chicken breast in barbecue sweet sauce, which caramelized. The barbecue sweet sauce caramelized, and it became this very thick, dark molasses. And then some spinach salad, and that's it. Very basic dinner. I would rate it like a 5 out of 10. Honestly, it's not bad. It's just very basic. And all at the same time, while cooking, eating, and then washing the dishes, and then for another extra hour, I just had a phone call with the interviewer guy, and it was like 2.5 hours long in total, and it was just ridiculous how long the phone call is, because now I'm literally crunched in time as well. So here's what I'm going to do. I was actually quite productive today. So far, even though I didn't do any reviews or anything. I'm planning to write 3 essays today. So I'm writing the personal statement for USC Film Studies, the critical essay for USC Film Studies, and also a totally optional essay, but I still want to write it. How you plan to further the interests of underrepresented communities in the entertainment industry. I haven't written the third one. So first one, for the critical essay, I just copied and pasted the critical essay I wrote for UCLA, except the rough draft version, because for UCLA it's 3 pages, and here it's 4 to 6 pages. So, that's that. Easy peasy. Now, I only realized that there was a personal statement for film studies today, but I didn't freak out or anything, because I thought I could just copy and paste the personal statement I wrote for film production. Wrong. Hold on. What if it's the same group of people? What if the people who read my application for film production and the people who read my application for film studies are the same group? Then they're going to see that I have copied and pasted the whole freaking essay. Then I have basically exposed myself. I'm not going to do that. So I brainstormed, and I found out that for the USC Common App, I had to write a transfer statement. So what I did is I basically copied and pasted the transfer statement and changed it a little bit, and then added and subtracted a little bit and turned it into a personal statement for film studies. So I basically melted the transfer statement and the personal statement into a new personal statement. That's what I did. And it didn't take a lot of time. So that's going well. Right now I'm just going to write a little bit. I'm going to edit a college update. I'm going to edit Japan a little bit. Watch the menu. I actually do think I have time to watch the menu. Actually, not sure. Take that back. But yeah. And then tomorrow will come, and I have no idea what will happen tomorrow. And I either see Pepper or I don't. It's just ridiculous. If Pepper really hates me so much that she has to drop photography too, then that would be really ridiculous. But yeah, I'm not going to go into details on what I and the interviewer, Retablo, said on the phone call, but we did talk about drug use for quite some time. And I talked about how after this talk, I started to imagine myself taking shrooms and whatever. And once again, I started thinking and fantasizing how I would have a full-blown schizophrenic breakdown. Like, I would grab a knife and try to stab myself or something like that. But then there's also the possibility that nothing will happen to me. But either way, the next time I try weed, I'll try 10 milligrams. And I also don't know who to try it with other than like maybe Cliff, because like again, Pepper hates me now, so that'll never happen. And I also want to try with someone I love, and I don't love anyone now, so what am I even doing? I realize that there's something so perverted, and it's good. I am a sick and twisted person sometimes, and sometimes I want to try weed and maybe even harder drugs because I value my life less. And that's bad, and that's why it's so fucking good. But I think even more importantly, I want to try weed in terrible situations. Like, if you take weed and you feel good and you have a nice time, that's fine. But I want to have a terrible time. I want to trip and cry and have an existential crisis and a panic attack because it's bad for mental health. And this is the same principle as people who like roller coasters and horror films, except this time it does pose kind of a threat to your mental health. But I like it because I am perverted and sick. And again, it's so funny coming from me because I've never tried anything yet. Seriously. So I don't know. But it's even better to get high with someone I love because the experience is even better. It's not about the trip itself, it's about the environment in which I trip in. That's the point. That's the selling point. That's the real fun part. It's my reaction to the trip, my counter reaction to it. Like if I trip, but then I have to suppress myself from tripping, that internal struggle is the actual fun part. It's almost like a fetish, but fetish not in a sexual context, but in a lifestyle context. Perversion is a way of life. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Who am I to say? Hopefully, something good comes out of tomorrow. All right, time now is 11:09 a.m. on February 14th. I just woke up. It's Valentine's Day, but we don't talk about that. I slept from 2:40, all the way to 10:45. Woke up a couple times in the middle, as per usual. But yeah, I'm really beginning to sleep late now, so that's exciting. Hopefully I don't do that tonight, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I didn't even finish watching The Menu. I watched half of the movie. But what impressive thing I did last night though is that I actually somehow successfully edited Cloudbusting down to 4 minutes 59 seconds. I somehow did that. And editing down that short film is pain because it's like killing my child. I had to cancel so many scenes. So what helped me was I essentially turned Cloudbusting into 2 sections. So the first half is where the crazy shit happens. All the stuff happens. The main character sees the old man for the first time, he sees a stranger, he goes to a temple, he coughs, and that's it. The second half is all talking between the main character and the old man. But the second half is more important, even though it looks more boring, because the second half is the real core message of the film. So what happened was I tried to edit the second half down to 3 minutes and the first half down to 2 minutes. 2 plus 3, 5. So I was kind of stupid because at first I miscalculated things. The second half, I edited down the second half first and turned it into 3 minute 43 seconds. And then I thought, ooh, this means I have 2 minutes 15, roughly 2 minute 15 seconds for my first half. And it was perfect. And then I found out, holy shit, this adds together into 6 minutes. Not 5, I'm stupid. So I had to cut down the whole monologue scene because one of the scenes in the short film that I'm really, really proud of is essentially a stranger in a temple telling the main character about a story of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and it felt very left field and out of nowhere, but there's just something really poetic about that, and I love this scene so much, and I had to cut it down. I just cannot keep it. I brainstormed a bunch of ways, but at the end of the day, I found out it's just impossible for me to keep it. But either way, I was able to cut down my short film to 5 minutes successfully, and I'm ready to, after I fix some coloring issues and fix the subtitles a little bit, and fix the sound a little bit, go through it over again, I'm ready to export it and consolidate it as the USC version of my short film. So, yeah, that's that. That's that. And by that point, it was already like 12 in the midnight, or 12:30 or something like that. So yeah, that's that. So today, I have to go to photography 2 at 1:45 to the main campus, and it's going to be interesting because again, Pepper theoretically should be there, Potter theoretically should be there, Aoba should be there. I don't know what the hell is going to happen. Yesterday was in some ways a bit of an upset because I couldn't see Pepper, but not really an upset for me because I don't care about her anymore. But yeah, still, Also, my right foot toe is like, I don't know why, like I got hurt or something, but there were 2 spots that was bleeding, just tiny spots, like right under my nail, in the exposed skin part. It's like I got bitten by a small snake or something. Okay, but anyways, I digress. Yeah, so I don't know what's gonna happen, and also more interestingly, maybe some of the people from my photography 1 class will also show up in photography 2, which doesn't really matter, but that would be kind of an advantage for me because I can make friends with them as well. And also, this class actually goes on quite a while. It's actually over 4 hours long. It goes from 2:45 to 7:05. So I don't know, I'll have a very late dinner today. That's okay, I woke up late. I'm gonna have a late breakfast, a late lunch, and yada yada. Yeah, I also realized that there are actually several things I want to do. I want to film the introduction video for my for USC, and I still got, I think, a couple of essays left. Yeah, I still got to do the 1-page story for Chapman, and a few small essays left for the USC supplemental, but after this point, I'm good to go, honestly. I think I can make it right on time for my USC and my Chapman U applications, which is literally fucking tomorrow. And I don't know what's going on with Chapman University. I have to submit the Common App first before I get to do my portfolio. And according to Chapman, it'll be 24 to 48 hours until I'm able to access my portfolio. Now that is fucking insane, because let's say worst case scenario, 48 hours pass by. I submitted my Chapman Common App technically yesterday at 12 midnight. And if it's 48 hours, which means that tonight at 24:00, I'll receive it. And thank God, because that gives me tomorrow, but only tomorrow, to work on my portfolio. So hopefully they send me an update or something tonight and let me access the portfolio, because otherwise that's bogus. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And right now I'm already brainstorming like what I should say, what I should read for what I should write for my essays, and for the 1-page story. I have to think of one story in my life that I think is super worth storytelling and make it 1 page long. And I've thought and thought and thought, and I don't know, because my life works as a TV show, So if I write one page of, say, one random part of my life, it's just not gonna work. You're just gonna be confused because you're not caught up with the lore, like what happened before, what happened after. Because that's actually how life works, right? So to turn it into one pages is actually a lot more difficult than you think. And people just come up with stories like, ooh, last Saturday I went to a party and I saw a Bigfoot and a UFO fucking, or something like that. But that's not how I tell my stories. I use I tell stories so much more dramatically and elegantly than that. So I have to do it my way, which is really tough. But yeah, I think I have an idea on what sort of story I want to do. It's going to be the Victory Day, the day I spoke to Mary. And I know it's too vulnerable for me to write about that, but I think that's exactly what's so awesome about this. So yeah, that's that. It's the Victory Day. I'm gonna do her birthday and then Victory Day. So yeah. Alright, time now is 1:56 p.m. I am really running out of time. Okay, so I plan to not do the self-introduction video. I'm gonna do it tomorrow when I have the time. But right now I'm just gonna, I forgot to do this yesterday, so I'm gonna do it today. But this is the before the semester cheer, the detective chant, okay? So let's go, detective, follow me. Let's go, detective. Let's go, detective. Let's go, detective. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, let's go. Let's go, film photography too. Oh, my hair sucks. Okay, hold on. What the fuck, the bus. I love LA. I love LA, I really do. Fuck you. Fucking slow ass bus. I'm racing against it right now by walking. Holy fuck. I just saved myself 10 minutes. I somehow took the bus to the wrong direction again. I don't fucking know why. Just like yesterday. What the fuck? What? It's so cold. And I got some crazy ass things to record. Alright, time now is 7 p.m. on the dot, and I just came back home from film 2, not film 2, photo 2, and it's crazy, there's a lot to discuss, but I just found out that I forgot to go to Nijia Market and buy bread, because this morning I found out that my bread got moldy. I was gonna eat the banana peanut butter bread, but I couldn't because the bread got moldy, even though I put it in the fridge. So I'm gonna buy new bread. I'm gonna go to Nijia Market. I'll buy new bread. I'll buy. You know what? Fuck it. I'll buy a whole meal there. I'm just gonna microwave it and eat it. Fuck it. Yeah, I don't even want to cook tonight. I got shit to do. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Alright, so I'm gonna leave again and I'm gonna have to walk again. Fuck. Alright, it's 9:43. This is about 23 bucks, which is kind of nice. I got raisin bread over here. Curry rice, because why not? Never tried it. This is more bread. More bread. This is for lunch. And this is what I'll be eating tonight. Yeah, this plus some bok choy and some pork belly, and I'm totally good. Alright, it's 9:07, 9:08 p.m. Let's wrap it up today. Just finished dinner, which is the chicken cutlet rice thing from Nijia Market, and then I cooked up just a tiny portion of fat pork belly and choy some fried with garlic, and that's pretty much it. And it's pretty filling. I wouldn't say it's a great dinner. I would say It's a 4 out of 10, strong 4 to a light 5. That would be my rating. Alright, so, now what happened today at Photo 2? Holy fucking shit. This is, revolutions upon revelations upon twists and turns. So today first of all, I thought I would be late again, which is scary. I was already late for yesterday's photo 2. I don't want to be late for today's photo. I was late for yesterday's photo 1. I don't want to be late for today's photo 2. By the same professor. That would really tarnish my reputation, and I would feel guilty. So I left my apartment. So the class begins at 2:45, and again, it usually takes about 45 minutes from my apartment to the college campus, except of course I let myself an hour to go there because I know something weird is gonna happen. So today I planned to leave at 1:45, but I ended up leaving at around 1:50. So I still got time, right? Wrong. Apparently I have to wait 15 minutes for the first bus, and then another 10 minutes between the first bus and the second bus, which is absolute bullshit. Again, I never have to worry about this if LA's metro system is better. Because in Hong Kong, I don't care about transiting bus. I wait 2 minutes for each MTR train. I hop onto it, and it's one continuous journey to the destination, and it's fast, and it's convenient. The moment I left the MTR exit, I turn right, walk 3 minutes, boom, I arrive at destination. But in LA, it's absolute garbage. So I thought to myself, okay, fine. I'll just walk to the bus stop between bus 1 and bus 2. Like I'll walk to the bus stop to the second bus. So that's what I did. I walked. And the bus beat me. Even though it took like 16 minutes for the bus to beat me, but eventually it went past me. So it wouldn't have made a difference. It would have made zero difference. So I gave up, honestly. I even thought to myself, okay, hold on. Maybe taking bus 17 and then transiting to bus 7 would still be slower than me walking to bus 7, despite the fact that bus 17 has beat me, simply because the difference between these two options is one crossroad. If I have to walk to bus 7, to the bus stop to bus 7, I will cross the horizontal road, the east-west crossroad. In this cross, east to west. If I take bus 17 and then cross, I'll have to walk northwards. It's a north-south crossroad. It's one crossroads different. It's one fucking traffic lights difference. So I gambled and I kept walking. I could have hopped onto bus 17, but then I thought, you know what? I'll keep walking. Fuck it. And then at the end, it was red light, but then the cars beside me weren't fucking moving. So I thought, you know what? Screw it. I'll do it. I'll Hail Mary. I'll just run. I ran super fast once again in my crazy ass detective coat. My legs were spread wide open. I was hooking and grappling the concrete, the asphalt ground with my legs, and I ran across the crossroad, and I was out of breath. And turns out it won't be another minute until bus 7 comes. But that was such a save, because in the app, it calculated that I have to wait 10 minutes between bus 17 and bus 7. But I was a smush bit early, a smish bit early than the app had calculated, making it only a 1 minute wait, meaning that I somehow got to take the earlier bus 7, and that saved me 10 minutes of time. So the calculated arrival time, instead of 2:48 p.m., it becomes 2:35, which of course, because the bus is so slow and because unexpected things happen, it got bumped out to 2:40, but that's still amazing. Okay, so here we go. I arrived on the campus like yesterday. I walked to the hall that I was supposed to go to, and then I saw a tiny group of people, about 6, 7, just at some stairs. It's gotta be photo 2. And then boom, it is, because I saw the professor right away. And I knew no one. I was kind of nervous. Will Aoba show up? Will Pepper show up? Will Potter show up? What's gonna happen? What's going on? Yeah. So I was kind of worried, and then the professor was like, photo 2, you guys? And we're all like, yeah. And he's like, oh, follow me, come in first. So I went in with a group of strangers. And among the strangers, this tall Latino guy with a black mustache. You know who it is? It's Diego the fucker. The guy from Film 33, the boom operator, who is constantly flirting with girls, sexually harassing them. That's him. So I literally know nobody other than him, so I went up to him and I was like, hey, Diego. And he didn't even recognize me. He's like, oh, what's up? How's it going, dude? And I'm like, yeah, good, pretty good. And then that's it. And then we went our own ways. So we entered the black room, or the dark room. The dark room is kind of like about the size of half a classroom. It has about 30 slots, like cubicles, so lined up at the walls of that room. It was horizontal. It was rectangular. And it has a giant tub in the middle, a giant sink with metallic and plastic bases on it. This is where you see people, put gigantic pieces of film, like sheets of film, and developing film and all that shit. And these slots, every one of them has a machine. They're called, I actually forgot what it's called. But the professor refers to it as a machine. And they're kind of like microscopes, but for films. And so that's pretty interesting. And then a couple minutes later, for some reason, out of nowhere, the Italian professor showed up. The one and only legendary Italian professor from our film classes. And it's specifically, particularly important that he showed up because, holy shit, my USC application deadline is literally tomorrow. This is such a golden opportunity for me to ask him to write me a letter of recommendation. Again, I've asked him before, he probably forgot. I'm going to ask him again. Holy shit, why is he here? And he's not even here to watch us. He walked over to one of the slots and started acting like a student. What the fuck is going on? And then, 2 more minutes pass. The professor is already starting to talk. Aoba shows up. And Aoba, of course, comes to my left, the slot left of me, and, said hi, and I'm like, professor's here. And she turned around and she's like, what is he doing here? And I'm like, I don't know. So Aoba's here, and then the class begins. And I'm starting to be a little, I wouldn't say nervous, but it was somewhat suspenseful. I was like, okay, the class has been going on for like 10 minutes now. The professor is introducing the class, talking about what we're going to do here, what's this function of the room, talking about himself a little bit. And Potter and Pepper are not coming, and that's concerning. Potter just told me yesterday that he's coming. There's no way he's lying. And Pepper, I really don't know. So it was low-key suspenseful. I kept glancing the doorway to see who's coming. And then 5-6 times new people come in, but they're not Potter or Pepper. And then, boom, Potter shows up. In a purple sweater, long hair. There he is. Exactly, that's him. And then at that point, all the slots are, or at that point the professor's talking and nobody's daring to move. So Potter just stood aside. And then 5 minutes pass. About 5 minutes. I don't know, I wasn't paying attention, but it feels like 5 minutes. Maybe even 10. A small girl with a giant light brown, pale brown trench coat appears. The moment I see that trench coat, I don't even need to look at her face. It's Pepper. She's here. So yeah, I guess Pepper didn't drop photo 2 so because she just hates me so much so that he wants to completely avoid me. And of course Pepper saw Potter and spoke to him a little bit. I almost thought they came here together by Uber maybe, but no, they came here separately. So yeah, that's that. And the moment Pepper's here, I thought to myself, okay, the game is on. The game is fucking on, okay? Here we go. This is the game. And I was almost a little nervous. It's different from the kind of nervous when Mary shows up. You know how when Mary comes into the classroom and I would start freaking out and I would start, I would act like, oh my God, she's here. What am I going to do? And she's just such a godly presence. But Pepper being here is nothing like that. Pepper doesn't have a godly presence. Pretty much the opposite of that. Pepper is just Pepper. I don't give a shit about Pepper. But still, there's kind of a nervousness in the situation. Like, I could feel tension. Like, ooh, what am I gonna do now? Okay, the way I act and the way I dress really matters now. Like, okay, the game is on. Like, it's so ironic, At some point, I really didn't care the way I talk and dress and act in front of Pepper because I'm comfortable with her. Now, not anymore, because she's lost her status as a close friend. She's lost it. Potter I trust, but Pepper, not really, not anymore. Yeah. Yeah, so obviously I and Alba are against I guess, let's just say the right side of the room, and then Potter and Pepper went to the left side, together, side by side. So right opposite of me and Alba. And then to Pepper's left, it's Potter. To Pepper's right is Diego. Diego remembers Pepper because, of course, he remembers the girls. And they talked a little bit. I didn't know what they talked about, but probably some bullshit. Diego, over the course of today's class, Diego talked to Pepper a few times, asking her bullshit random questions like, what's the time now? Or, do you need help with that? Or whatever, some shit like that. But again, I don't really care, I don't care. So the game is on. The game is on. I was secretly laughing the whole time during today because our Italian professor is acting like a student. And we're all just standing and looking at the photo professor. And it's just a very odd situation, right? And it's war. It's almost like war, like I and Alba are against Potter and Pepper now. Almost. It feels like Alba would also speak to me once in a while, like, stuff, random stuff. And I would also speak to her. So yeah, I try my best to not make any eye contact with Pepper or Potter. So at some point, we all have to line up and go out and take negative care, which is a piece of metallic plate and a lens for the reader that is the machine. So we all lined up and I was in front of Pepper. Pepper was a few people behind me. So as I walked back to the dark room, I saw Pepper and Pepper was like, hi. So, okay, that's option number one. That's, out of the three possibilities, Pepper acts as if nothing happened. Or Pepper doesn't say anything or interact with me and it's all awkward. Or Pepper doesn't show up. Today, it's number one. Pepper pretends nothing's happened. She's like, hi. So I'm like, okay, hi. That's it. And that's pretty much the only thing I've said to her the whole day today. Yeah, it's actually hilarious. Okay, so let's continue. So we, put on the lens and we put on the negative care onto the machine, and we learned how to use it, and it was informational, it was fun. Again, the Italian professor's still there doing his thing. We're all doing our things, and it was funny. And then fast forward to 3:50 p.m. ish. We took a break. And then I didn't care that Pepper's here. I didn't care that Potter's here. First things first, I ran off to chase after the Italian professor. The Italian professor and the photo professor went off together to grab a cup of coffee at the cafe nearby. And so I immediately chased after them, but I don't want to seem like I'm crazy. I don't want to seem like, oh, of course I'm chasing after the Italian professor. So I tried to like slow down, and as I'm chasing after them, okay, at this point we're outside of the classroom again, we're out in the daylight. Potter and another shorter white girl were chatting, and I thought to myself, holy shit, because, a month ago Potter told me how he's going to find himself a basic bitch, a dumb TikTok blonde, and date her. The lowest scum, the fakest, plasticest Los Angeles blonde that she's gonna find. And that girl wasn't blonde, but I thought to myself, holy shit, he's fast. But there's no way. Like, they're chatting as if they know each other before. But anyways, I didn't care. I ran past them. Potter's like, oh, hey, it's Enoch. Hi. Hi, he's Enoch. And I'm like, hi. And then I continued running. And then I ran towards the professor, and I wanted to say something first. I saw the Italian professor. I'm like, hey, professor, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, I'm taking this class. And the photo professor was like, hey, from now on, don't call him professor. Call him by his first name. He is one of the students here. And I can't tell if he's joking or not. But I walked out with the professor, and I was like, oh, one more thing. About the letter of recommendation for USC. And then he's like, no, when's the deadline? And he was like, isn't the deadline tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, And I said, well, they give you more time. Like, you can submit it after the deadline. And he's like, okay, come to my office. And he asked me, when will I be at CMD? And I said, I have Film 33 on Thursday. And he's like, okay, then see me at my office in Film 33. But that's what I'm going to do. He said he'll be there. So, et voila. So I ran back. I didn't even have to run back. I just ran back because I don't want to miss out on things. Outside of the classroom, okay, Potter and this girl, they went off somewhere. Her name is Lily. I'm just going to say her name just in case she becomes a key player or something in the next semester. I went back to the little area outside of the classroom, and essentially Aoba, Pepper, Diego, and this other tall white guy stood around in a circle. Who is this tall white guy? I walked up to them, and Aoba... it was right before the break started. Aoba gave me and Pepper a bag of cookies. And I'm going to show it. There were 2 more cookies in there, but it was sort of like a simple red bag of cookies. And Aoba said, Happy Valentine's Day. And I was like, oh, what is this? Thank you. What? Where did you get this? And she says she made it. She made it herself the day before, yesterday. And it wasn't just to me, of course. Like, when she saw Pepper, she also gave out a bag of cookies. And she even brought these circular rice crackers. It's also in my bag, but I'm not going to take it out now. So it's like it came out of nowhere. And I'm like, thank you. What the heck? So I was trying it, and there's two types. There's a spinach type, the buttery spinach type. You see the little green, the white one, and then underneath there's a chocolate one. The chocolate one tastes pretty good. The buttery spinach one just tastes like dough, but I appreciate Alba. This reminds me of how Jordana, for Christmas, gave me some cookies that she made herself. It's almost like history repeating itself. Except Alba and Jordana are completely different people, obviously. But yeah, what the fuck? And I'm like, wow, I didn't bring anything. And Alba's like, no, it's okay, it's okay. So that's pretty interesting. So who is this tall white guy? And I said, oh, you're in film too, right? And he's like, yeah. Like, he's also a film major. And I'm like, have I seen you somewhere before? Were you on the set of WoW? And he's like, yeah, but just for once. And I'm like, oh, maybe I've seen you. So I busted out the big question. What's your name? And he said, Dimitri. And I'm like, oh. So you're Dimitri. So I've heard things about him. Cliff told me things about Dimitri. How he ran into Roger Deakins while being in a cafe in Santa Monica. How Dimitri made a really cool short film with some really amazing costumes. So he's Dimitri. All right. And now remember this information, because we'll come back to him a little later. And then a little later, Potter returns with the girl. Turns out they both know each other before in Photo 1 class last semester. And then I introduced Potter to Alba. And they chatted a bit. Nice. And then the professor came in, and again, now it doesn't seem like a joke. Now it does seem like the professor's serious about taking this class. Now the professor is a student. And we're all joking and laughing. And the photo professor even came up to me jokingly saying, now you can talk to him after the class, okay? Right now, just refer to him in his first name, okay? All the professor business, that's not related to this class, okay? If you really, really want to talk to him, I can drop you out of this class, and then you can talk to him. And then I was like, no. Hey, at least I made myself impressionable. So yeah, that's that. At some point, the photo professor asked Alba, oh, are you going to be a director? Because he knows she's a part of the film circle. And she's like, no, I want to be a gaffer. And the photo professor was like, that's very special. And that's kind of cool too, because my dream is writer-director. That's it, simple as that. But Alba wants to be a gaffer, which definitely is going to be a lot easier, but also is very special. So that's really cool. But yeah, my personality definitely belongs in writer-director. But anyways, we went back to classroom. We continued to class. And not much happened. I spoke with Dimitri a little bit, spoke with Diego a little bit, albeit I know he's a huge sexually harassing jerk. Yeah, and then I constantly looked at the professor. At some point we talked about apple boxes, because some of the girls in our classes are really small. They're really short. And the photo professor was like, don't worry, if you're too short, I'll bring in some apple boxes. And that's funny, because if you haven't taken film before, you probably won't know what an apple box is. So the photo professor was like, you guys know what an apple box is, right? And like the film people, me, Alba, Diego, Dimitri, we all laughed a little bit, and we all looked at the professor, and the professor laughed, like the Italian professor. And Dimitri or Diego was like, oh, it's a box for apples, right? So yeah, we all laughed. It's so funny. Like throughout the day today, it's very much palpable tension, but also at the same time, it's so funny. Like I was just secretly laughing the whole time. And then that's it. The class was over. the class was supposed to be over at 7, but today the class is over early. So at 5, we basically left. 5 something. And me, Aoba, Pepper, and Potter, we all waited for bus 7. We all stood outside the bus stop. And it was, I wouldn't say it's awkward, but essentially it's Aoba to my right, Potter to my left, and then Pepper at the very end. And I and Pepper did not say a single thing to each other. I think at some point Pepper did direct a question to me, but it was directed towards everyone. But she looked at me, and the question is in English, but I really forgot what she said because it doesn't matter, right? Yeah, and I didn't say anything. I mostly said English, and it's a really odd situation where there are 3 Hong Kongers and 1 Japanese, and the Hong Kongers are the dominant, but we respect. I don't want Alba to feel excluded, so I keep speaking in English while Potter and Pepper chit chat with each other in Cantonese a little bit once in a while. But yeah, Potter and Pepper told Alba that they both watch First Love on Netflix, which is a show that I do not care for because I don't experience romance. So shut the fuck up, right? And Alba's like, oh yeah, you know, First Love is actually it took place in my hometown, Hokkaido. You know, literally my hometown. Like not only in Hokkaido, but literally my hometown. Like not even Sapporo. Like literally my hometown or near. And I'm like, wow, that's cool. And then Potter was almost like being very touristy. Potter was like, oh, you know, in First Love when the family they were greeting each other really closely. Like, do Japanese people actually do that? And Alba's like, I don't know. I mean, some people like that, some people are not. It depends. So it's kind of like asking a Hong Konger after watching a Kung Fu film. Do all Hong Kongers Kung Fu like that? Like, of course not. I don't know. But it's just so hilarious that in this current situation, the person closest to me is a freaking Japanese girl. Like, I was joking around with Aoba a little more. But yeah. We went on to bus 7 together because we're all in this general direction. And it's gonna be awkward because I and Pepper literally live on the same street. Albeit like 10 minutes apart, but still we're gonna be like together. But I didn't say a thing to Pepper on the bus, so on the bus I sat with Potter to my right, and behind me it's Pepper and then Aoba. And we just had our separate conversations. I spoke with Potter about, you know, how are things. Of course I can't speak to Potter about Pepper because Pepper's literally behind me, and I can't speak in Cantonese because Pepper knows Cantonese because we're Hong Kongers, so I just talked about stuff like, oh, so what are the classes you're taking now? You know, whatever. Like, how's 2023 gonna be? I mentioned Banshees of Inisherin. Apparently, Potter's host family, the host, wants to watch the film, and Potter's like, oh, is it good? And you know, we talked a bit, blah 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 blah, and then, so Pepper left. And in my phone, in my transit app, it says that I get off at the next stop. So I just watched Pepper leave, and I'm not in a hurry to follow her. Like, even if we have to get off at the same stop, I don't want to just be with her. That's so awkward. Like, what the hell am I even gonna say now? So I just let her go. And Alba and Potter were like, oh, I thought you two will take off. And I'm like, no, but in my phone, it's like, in my app, it says I get off at the next stop. And then it's perfectly explainable, actually, because Pepper can just walk back to her home. I can, but it'll take like 17 minutes. It's better for me to take a bus. So I got off at the next stop. I left. And then Potter and Aoba continued off on the bus. And so that's it. I completely avoided speaking to Pepper today. And it wasn't super awkward, but I just feel nothing. And I feel like Potter notices it too. I'm so ready to move on. I'm so ready to find someone more interesting. Pepper's just not worth it. Just freaking Hong Konger basic girl. You know, just whatever. So anyways, I waited for bus 17, finally showed up, took the bus, and then once again, just like yesterday, it went to a different direction. I don't know how, I don't know why. Last round, I took the same bus at this spot. I go to the right direction. I don't know what's going on with the bus 17 now. So yeah, I had to leave at one of the bus stops, and then I had to cross the road, and then I'll take the same bus at a different direction, and I came back home, and it was 7 p.m., and then I realized, holy shit, I need bread, I need food, I want chicken stock as well, because I want to try steam eggs. So I didn't want to do this, but fuck it. I walked all the way to Nija Market, walked back. I didn't even listen to music, and it was so fucking cold today. I wore this jacket with the detective coat on top, so 4 layers of clothing, and it was so windy and it was so chilly. But yeah, walked to Nija Market, bought some food, came back. Here I am. I spoke with Michelle. I told Cliff and Michelle about how insane my photography class has gotten, and I specifically want to report to Michelle because I want to tell Michelle all the drama, and I want her to tell me all the drama as well, even though I probably will know more than her, which is crazy. You know, back in Form 1 of secondary school, I'm always clueless. There are so many secrets and drama, and I just don't know any of that. I feel so small, but now I'm somewhat of a key player. I know shit now. And also I feel like the chosen one. Out of all the possible classes, out of all the possible semesters, the Italian professor has to take this photo of this professor at this time of day in this semester. And I'm also here with Alba, Pepper, and Potter, and Dimitri, and Diego, and tons of other possibilities. I told Michelle this, and Michelle was pretty shocked. And yesterday, I and Michelle had a conversation about husbands. Michelle said she has 3 fake husbands now, and the second one, the first one is Patrick, the black guy, real nice guy. And there's a third one, and I don't know who it is, and I guessed. I'm like, I don't know, Eric, Cliff, and Michelle's like, no, of course not. It's neither of them. And Michelle was like, you know who it is, and I genuinely don't know. And then today, and Michelle was like, you know what? You'll know at some point. You'll know at some point. And I'm like, oh, of course. I only have one class at the CMD where all the interesting shit happens. I only have one class there every week, and that's Film 33 on Thursday. And that husband will probably not be in my class. So, like, even if I see that person, I wouldn't know. I just wouldn't know. So I'm like, okay, as if I'm going to see him. The next day, today, I have finally seen Michelle's third fake husband. It's Dimitri. And somehow fate has brought us all together. In photography too. Which is a weird way of putting it, but it's true. So yeah, there's that. I'm excited for this class, definitely. Excited to see what to come out of it. And yeah, I overheard some of the conversation between Pepper and Alba because I'm just really good. I'm literally insane, right? I spoke with Potter, but at the same time, I could also hear the other conversation. So I'm hearing and speaking 2 different things at the same time. I didn't hear everything that Alba and Pepper are talking about, but they talked about several things, small things. You know, at this point, Alba is probably even closer to me than she is to her. I hate to say this, I hate to sound cocky, but that's almost true. So Alba and Pepper, they talked about just, oh, what class are you taking, all that bullshit. Leslie, the Chinese girl, came back to LA, and she has a streak of blue hair now. And I jokingly asked Alba, like, oh, so you're going to change your hair too, right? And Alba's like, yes, on Thursday, my hair will be changed. And I'm like, okay, new semester, new hair, and I'm excited. So I heard Pepper and Alba talk about Leslie and talk about blue hair a little bit because I know Pepper wants to dye her hair too, but she didn't. She looks exactly the same as I left her. You know, she looks exactly the same, sort of brunette-ish, dyed hair, big pale brown trench coat. Literally the same outfit. Literally the same. And I also heard that apparently Pepper's taking a Japanese class, Japanese 1, and Pepper met a Japanese guy on Japanese 1, thinking that it's kind of silly, you're already Japanese, why are you taking this class? Why don't you go to Japanese 2? And that Japanese guy was like, I already took Japanese 2 last semester. And that's really weird. And Aoba's like, I don't know who he is. And then also, Pepper and Aoba just and also Pepper and Aoba talked about the projects that they're doing, so I don't know how the fuck. I guess it's probably true that Pepper at this moment is probably a lot more resourceful than me because Pepper's getting projects left and right. I overheard Pepper saying that he's going to help a USC grad school film as a makeup. I don't know if she's referring to the one John L is making or if it's a totally different one, but it could be a totally different one because, again, I've seen Pepper's Instagram stories. She's been working on film sets a lot, and I'm kind of jealous because I want to do that too, you know. I want to work on film sets. I want to get to know a lot of people. I want to have tons of awesome experience. But yeah, essentially that's that. I checked Instagram stories a little later on the bus, and I saw that the feature film, the blonde woman who I worked for 1 day as a script supervisor, that time they were continuing the shoot, and for one of the shoots, Pepper was there, and Pepper even waved her camera, did this, and I was almost a little jealous, like, oh, of course she's getting to do all the cool shit. But then again, you never know. And also, I don't want to be in the same sets as she is in. You know, I want to be my own thing now. I don't need her help anymore. I'm gonna find opportunities by myself. So, yeah, I shouldn't be jealous. What am I being jealous for? So yeah, that's that. So, that's the rundown of today. At the end of today, like at around 5:30ish, when we were waiting at the bus stop, Aoba was even like, wow, it's really late. Do you guys want to eat something? Which is weird because usually this isn't the hour for eating, but I would totally understand why. And I'm like, and Pepper, of course, Pepper's like, oh no, I have plans tonight. Oh yeah, of course, Pepper will probably, I don't know, like go to a party in downtown LA and, you know, meet a couple of hot guys or some shit like that. Okay. And then Potter's like, oh, I'm free later. And then I'm like, oh, I mean, I can do it even though, you know. And Alba's like, oh yeah, you know, Enoch, you have like applications. You're busy. You're super busy with that stuff. So at the end, we didn't go out and eat together. But Pepper's like, oh, we can try that next week. So, okay. And next week would definitely be way better if we want to have dinner together because next week the class will probably for real end at 7 p.m. So, that's that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I'm gonna work on my uni apps. I have like 4 essays to do. And yeah, I don't know. I will finish watching the menu. Yeah. Okay, time now is 1:47 a.m. in the morning. Just finished the menu. I'm gonna immediately go to bed now. I'm tired as fuck. Okay, a couple updates about my applications. Nothing all that important and crazy. It's just that I couldn't finish everything I planned to do today. The 1-page story thing for Chapman University, I can't do it. I technically can do it now, except I'm too tired and sleepy to be able to conjure up something amazing. But here's what I think. For the 1-page story for Chapman University, I was originally gonna write about victory, the victory day. My mom's texting me about letter of recommendation. Oh god. All right. What was I gonna say? Right. Chapman University 1-page story. I was originally gonna write about the most fantastic story that I can probably tell with a happy ending. And if it's one page, it's got to be the victory day when I spoke to Mary, when I was wearing the detective coat. And I thought, wow, I can, like, with this, first of all, I'm passionate about the story. Second of all, I can really get descriptive with the story, how the day started when I saw Mary, how I trembled, and how I felt after it. And then after some thinking today, I realized, god damn, this is such a cliche story. Like, imagine being given the chance of writing a one-page story and then all you write about is how you spoke to your crush. That's so basic. Now, it's not basic if I envision it, because how I envision it is ridiculously artistic and unique and dramatic, and it's great. But right now, I'm writing it, and it's only one page. I don't get to get all descriptive. Like, if you give me 10 pages to work with, I can spend maybe 3-4 pages just to describe Mary's face. But I only have one page, so I realized, okay, I gotta change the idea. So I brainstormed a little bit, and I just thought, I don't know, something stupid like my cousin's getting trapped in a car or something, which really happened. So you know what? Fuck it. I'm actually gonna go with that idea. A few years ago, my cousins, my grandma, and my aunt went to Japan, and it was snowing really hard. And while my elder cousin and my aunt went to the police station, the younger cousin and my grandma were trapped in the car, and they were feeling drowsy because of carbon monoxide, and they didn't know that it would actually kill them. And then the younger cousin was like, "Oh, I want to go pee," so my grandma opened the car doors and released all the carbon monoxide out, and that's how they survived. It's a silly little story, but it's also kind of life and death, and I think I can make it ultra dramatic in my story, and I'm pretty proud of this idea. But I'm not able to write it. But tomorrow I have the idea, I got the outline ready, I will write it right off the bat. Another thing is tomorrow I'll write the treatment and do the self-introduction video as well at the same time. I realized after watching some YouTube videos today and reading some more websites about how to write a good personal statement for film, I realized, holy shit, my UCLA personal statement is not good enough. It feels too professional-ish, and it's too much film talk. I realized that apparently it's best if you keep film away from your film school personal statements. It should be only and solely about you, and you should make it as special as possible. And I feel like I didn't do that hard enough in UCLA. And it sounds so dramatic either. It doesn't have an authenticity. So, I don't know. UCLA being the first one to submit really puts me at a disadvantage, given that UCLA is my dream school, because I don't think it's my best work. But yeah, if USC really only cares about what I submit for my film stuff, I realize cloud busting is a bit too artsy and confusing, because USC at the end of the day is a Hollywood machine, and it doesn't care about artsy indie films. So cloud busting might be a little too confusing for them, but I have already made it. So, welp, guess that's that.